Okay. So now we're on Hey Amid Aleph. By the way, tomorrow, Mirz Hashem, we will learn the Navi at 7 o'clock, like always, and then we will learn the Daf Yomi at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Amarav. Megillah Bismana, Kornos Afila Biyochid. On Yud Dalad Adar, we read the Megillah even without 10 people. Even a Yachid can read the Megillah. Shelo Bismana, but when you lane it not in its right time, like you move it up, like the Kfarim, who are Magdim Yom HaKnisa, then you need 10 people. Ravasi Omer, no, Bein Bismana, Bein Shelo Bismana Basar. You always have to have a minion for laning the Megillah. Hava Uvda V'chashle Rav Lahai de Ravasi. There was a case that he was makpid to have 10 people. Umiyam Rav Hachi, did Rav say this? Vam Rav Yidak Bered Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas Mishmei Rav Purim Shechalios B'Shabbos. Purim that comes out on Shabbos. Erev Shabbos Zmanam. So I don't understand Erev Shabbos Zmanam. HaShabbat, you just said that the Purim is Shabbos. Ela Lav Hachi Komer. Shelo Bizmanam Kizmanam. Laning not in its right time is like laning it in its right time. Mazmanam Afilu Biyochid. So just like if Purim falls out on Yud Daled, you lane it Biyochid. Av Shelo Bizmanam Afilu Biyochid. So Rav didn't say that you need a minion. Gemara says, lo, le'inyan Mikra Megillah Basara. Mikra Megillah always needs 10. Elamai Erev Shabbos Zmanim. What do you mean Erev Shabbos is its Zmanim? Lafukim and Rebbe. To show that they're not holding like Rebbe. Because since the Ayaris are being pushed, maybe Yidachul Yom HaKnisa, so push them to Thursday. Akamashman Erev Shabbos Zmanim. No, if the Erev Shabbos is their Zman, they land it on their Zman, they land in Erev Shabbos. They don't have to be pushed. Not like Shitas of Rebbe. Mishnah. Ezohi Ir Gedola. What's the definition of a big city that lands on the 14th? Kol sheyesh bo asor batlonim. You need 10 people that are learning all the time, like a koilel. Pachas mikan. If it doesn't have 10 batlonim, harei kfar. It's like a village. Be'elu amru magdimim v'lo ma'achrin. And in a village, you're magdim. Aval zman atzei kohanim. But the Zman that the Chachamim said that there was a simcha for the families that had the honor of bringing wood for Korban Eitzim. There was a certain yontif made for them. Or V'tishabav. Or V'chagiga, the Korban Chagiga. V'hakel, and the mitzvah of gathering all of Klal Yisrael for laning Sefer Dvorim. Ma'achrin v'lo magdimin. We don't bring these things forward, but you can delay them. Then it says, even though by Purim we are magdim, mutar behesped of the tainus matonos levyonim. These extra days, 11, 12, 13, they're mutar behesped uvetainus. It's not like Mamish Purim. But even so, you can give Matonis Levyonim on those days. All of these dinim of being Magdim is only in communities that still have a village market day, where Monday and Thursday, the whole villages around the area come and sell their wares. Then all cities only lane on Yud Daled Adar. Tana, Asar Batlonim Shbeis HaKnesses. That, what do we mean by Asar Batlonim? It means they hang around in the shul and they learn. They don't work. They sit in, or they work with Tzorchei Tzibur, or Inyani Torah Mitzvahs. That establishes that this is a city, a big city. In such a city, you advance the laning. My time, Amr Baba Mershmol Amr Kra, Velo Yavor. You can't delay Yom Purim after the 15th, because that violates the pasuk Velo Yavor. Varma Vab Amar Shmoni Nine Shein Moinim Yomim L'Shonim. When we have a cheshbon of years, when we have a count, we don't mix. We talk about 12 months. We don't talk about 365 days a year equaling a year. We count 12 months to a year, not 365 days. V'Rabbanan de Kesor Mishum Rabbi Abba Onru, Minayin she'en mechashvin shos l'chadashim. We don't, for example, 29 days and 6 hours. It doesn't. We don't mechashev that. Shenemar ad chodesh yomim. Yomim ata mechashev l'chodeshim. V'ata mechashev shos l'chadashim. Avos atzei kohanim v'tisha b'av v'chagiga v'hakel ma'achrim v'lo. These yomim tovim are, you can push them forward. So, for example, Tisha B'av falls on Shabbos. We don't do Tisha B'av on Friday or Thursday. You push them off to Sunday. Why? Agdume Puranis lo magdimi. When it comes to a bad thing, we don't advance a bad thing. We push it off. Now, Korban Chagiga, you have a chiyuv to bring a Korban Chagiga the first day of Yontif. If you don't bring it, you can bring it the second day. Mishum dakati lo mata zman chiyuvui. The zman chiyuv hasn't passed. That's what the Gemara says. So Bishlam Chagiga di Mikla b'Shabta. The Korban Chagiga, according to this pshat, is not slaughtered on Shabbos. So Ma'achrinan lo lebasar Shabbos. So you push off the Korban Chagiga to Sunday. Elazman Chagiga mahi. So what is this concept of this Chagiga having a certain zman? Amar v'shehachi kamar Chagiga b'Shabbos, that you can offer the Korban Chagiga on Shabbos. The Korban Chagiga is the Korban Shlamim that is brought by a family when they're oile regal to eat meat, their yontif meal. Then there's an oilas re'iyah, there's a Korban Ola that is brought, that to show yourself that you showed your face aliyah l'regel. The oilas re'iyah, afilu b'yontif d'zman Chagiga ma'achrin. So oilas re'iyah is not offered, even if yontif falls on that Shabbos, you push it off. Mani, who is that? Beishamahi. This not. Beishamai oimrim meviin shlomim b'yontif. You can bring a korban shlomim on yontif. That because a chagiga is a korban shlomim, and you can offer it on yontif. But ein soim chinaleim. But you don't do smicha. That's too much work. Avaloi oilois, but oilois are not doichi yontif. Ubeisel oimrim meviin shlomim ve'oilois. You bring shlomim and oilois on yontif, v'soim chinaleim. Rava Amar Chagiga, Kozman Chagiga Ma'achrin, that the Zman of Chagiga can be pushed off. But Tfei, low. But it has a limit. This not. Mish lo Chag b'yontif harishon shel Chag. Let's say the first day of Pesach, and you didn't bring the Korban Chagiga the first day. Choygeg v'hoylech es kol haregel kulo. You can bring the Korban Chagiga the whole yontif. Or if it's Sukkot, v'yontif achron shel Chag, or the last day of Yontif, Shmini Atzeres. Over haregel v'loy chag. If the Yontif passed and you didn't bring the Korban Chagiga, you're not chayav b'achri yuso. You're not chayav to bring it anymore. Rav Ashi Amar Chagiga v'chozman Chagiga ma'achrin. Even the whole, it's even longer. Afilu Atzeres t'chad yoyim ma'achrin, meaning Shavuos, which is one day. If you didn't bring on Shavuos, you have another 6 days to bring it. It's not. Moedim, you have another 6 days to bring the Korban Chagiga. And that's the halacha psuka brought by the Shulchan Aruch, or the Rambam, who brings it. Rabbi Nata Natiya B'Purim. Rebbe planted plants on Purim. He was not choishesh that he's over some kind of malacha on Purim. There's no Isser malacha on Purim. V'rochatz b'korna shel tzipor b'shivas b'tammuz. He took a bath publicly on Shivas b'tammuz. It's mutter to wash during the 3 weeks, and even on a fast. Bikesh la'akor Tisha B'av. Rebbe wanted to get rid of Tisha B'av, but the Chachamim disagreed. V'lo hoydelo. Amar lefonav Reb Abba bar Zavda. Rebbe lo kachaya ma'isa. Ela Tisha B'av shechalios b'Shabbos. He's talking about Tisha B'av. It wasn't abolishing Tisha B'av. Tisha B'av that year fell on Shabbos. Udachinan lachar Shabbos. He pushed it off to Sunday. The Chachamim. Amar Rebbe. Hoil v'nidcha yidcha. No. Since you can't do it on Tisha B'av, there's no point in doing it on the 10th. And therefore that year they shouldn't do Tisha B'av. But v'lo hoyde Chachamim. That's what the Chacham didn't agree. Kori alei toivim hashnayim min ha'echad. See, better to have more opinions. The Rebbe Heichanotanatiyah b'Purim. How did Rebbe plant something on Purim? Vatani Rav Yosef Simcha Mishta v'Yom Tov. Simcha Malamit Shasrim Behesped. You can't do a eulogy. Mishta Malamit Shasrim B'Tainis. You can't fast. Yom Tov Malamit Shasrim B'Asiyas Malacha. You can't work. Ela Rebbe Bar Abeser Hava. Rebbe was a person who lived in a city where they read the Megillah on the 14th. V'chinota b'chameser nota. And when he planted on the 15th. Versus Aini, it's not so. Rebbe b'Tveria have it. Rebbe lived in Tveria. Tveria mukefes chayim mas Yeshua ben Nun have it. Tveria was a walled city from Yeshua ben Nun, so he was not a bar Arbesar, he was a bar Chamesar. Ela Rebbe bar Chamesar have it. The Chinata bar Beser have it. When it says he planted something, he planted on the 14th because it wasn't his Purim. Umi pshita le Tveria mukefes chayim mas Yeshua ben Nun. Is it that pasha to you that Tveria was a mukefes chayim from the time of Yeshua Chizkiah? Kari b'Tveria bar Beser u'v'chameser. Chizkiah read the Megillah in Tveria both on the 14th and the 15th. Mesafkele imu kefes choyim Yeshua ben Nun hi lo. There was a doubt whether Tveria was mukefes choyim. That's why he laid it on both days. So lechizkiah mesafkele Rebbe pshitale. Rebbe didn't have a doubt that it was mukefes choyim. Pshitale mishori. So what? If it was pashut for him that in Tveria you read on this day, is it pashut that he can do malach on another day? Vaksiva Megillah's Tainus. In Megillah's Tainus, which is a Tanaitic work, which describes various Yomim Tovim, it says clearly, Es Yom Arba'asar v'es Yom Chamisha Sar Yomi Puria Inin. Both the 14th and the 15th are considered Purim days. Delola Mispid Baham. And therefore the Gemara is asking, how could Rebbe plant on the 14th? Megillah's Tainus calls it a Yontif. V'amar Rava, Loi Nitzchel Le'asar Ezeh Et shel zeh b'zeh, et shel zeh b'zeh. Each one has its isser. Hanamili behesped of v'tainis. Aval malacha yom echad v'sulo. That's hesped v'tainis. There's an isser both on the 14th and the 15th. But the isser malacha is only 1 day, not 2 days. Yom echad v'sulo. More says Aini, it's not so. V'arav chazir lu gavra. He was planting cotton on Purim. And he cursed it, and the cotton didn't grow. So Hasam Bar Yoimei, that was because he was a 14th day guy, and he planted on the 14th. That's why he wasn't allowed to do it. Rabba Breda Rava Amrafilu Teme Biyomei. Even if it was his day, Hesped V'Tainis Kabilu Alayu. The people accepted an Isser of Hesped V'Tainis on Purim days. Malacha lo Kabilu Alayu. But people did not accept the minig of not working on Purim. Yes, there's an initial pasuk that says Simcho Mishta V'Yontav. Later on, it says that the people accepted Lasoiso Sam Yimei Mishta V'Simcha. V'Yontav Lo Ksiv. So in the end, the prohibition of malach on Purim was not accepted by the people. So then Rav, who cursed the guy who planted the cotton on Purim and it didn't grow, my time alat yalo gavra, but if there was no accepted minig to not work on Purim, so why did Rav curse the guy? Because dvarma mutorim, v'acher noagim be'em iser have. It's something that it's mutter, but other people had a minig to accept astringency. Uva'asher Rebbe lo nog. In the area of Rebbe, there was no minig to work at all. That's why he did work the Farhesia. But in Rava's area or Rav's area, there were people who were knowing not to work. So that's why you have to be careful. B-boy saying another answer, la'olam nohug, that really there was a minig, even in Rebbe's area of Isra Malacha. So how could Rebbe plant something on Purim? Rebbe Natiyah Shel Simcha Nata. He planted something in honor of Purim, the Yom Simcha. Kiditnan. Avru Elu V'lo Nanu, like we had if the various dates, the 13 tainiyos that Beis Din established because it wasn't raining, and they still didn't rain. If you remember, Mimatin b'maso v'matin, they were goizer to work less. B'binyan of a netiyah, in building and planting, and beirusin of nesuyin, waking weddings. V'tana ala binyan shel simcha. What we meant, not every kind of binyan, a binyan of simcha, netiyah shel simcha. Ezeu binyan shel simcha, ze aboyna beis chasna livno. Somebody builds a chuppah for his son, ezoi netiyah shel simcha, ze anoita avona kisha malachim, like a garden for beauty for malachim. I'm going to stop here, and we'll pick up. We'll do Vav tomorrow, but we'll finish up. Hey, okay. Have a good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos.